Hi besties, my name is Maddie and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be talking about one of my favorite book tropes, which happens to be single parent. And you might be wondering, I wonder why I like that trope so much. Well, Mom and Dad, would you like to answer because you are both living in separate houses? Drop a comment. Maybe it's trauma. What do we think? Whatever it is, I love them. They are my kryptonite. So I separated these into single mom, single dad, some honorable mentions that I feel like don't really fit into like either category but still have like the single parent aspect, and then a few books that are on my TBR. So let's get right into it with some single mom romances. So I have Meet Me Halfway by Lillian T. James. I loved this book. So this follows our two main characters, Maddie and Garrett, and then Maddie has a young son named Jamie. So Maddie fell in love with a boy when she was like 16, 17 when she was in high school, ended up having Jamie. They obviously didn't work out. And then she meets her now ex-husband who promised her like a fairy tale, life was gonna be rainbows. Turns out he's an actual living nightmare. So now she is living in this duplex. She's working like 2 or 3 jobs. She's putting herself through school and she's all raising Jamie by herself. In comes our MMC Garrett, who is her next door neighbor, and he doesn't like her. He's grumpy, he doesn't want anything to do with her life, or her child. And she's like, I don't care. What do I have to lose? Like, I don't enjoy your presence either, until they're kind of around each other a little bit more, and then it kind of follows their story. And it is so good. This is a slow burn. So if you want a slow burn romance, pick this one up because they don't get together till I want to say like almost towards like the very last part of the book. And it has the whole like who did this to you type of trope. I mean, it is so good, but it is on a little bit of a darker side. So look up your trigger warnings if you need to do that, because I know it does handle some harder topics. I absolutely love this book. I loved how protective Jamie was of his mom. It is so good. So if you're in the mood for a slow burn single mom romance, pick this book up. Then I have The Takeover by T.L. Swan. So the first one in this series is cringy, okay? I get it. So I think there's like 4 or 5 in this like Mile High series. I don't even know what the series is actually called, but the first one's very cringy, but this one is so much better, okay? So this follows our two main characters, Tristan and Claire. The first time Claire meets Tristan, he is trying to take Claire's late husband's business and like buy her out of it. And she's like, absolutely not, I'm not giving up what my husband worked so hard for. And it's her navigating single momhood now with, I believe she has like either 2 or 3 boys. And Tristan just keeps coming back and like, let me buy this business, let me buy this business. And she is attracted to him, but she doesn't know what to do with that because like she's handling grief and all that kind of stuff. I had such a good time with this one because Tristan is not a kid person, okay? He does not like them at all. And the way he interacts the first time he shows up to their house, cackled. But the way he changes in the ending when they're all working together, oh, I loved it. It did something to my heart. So if you want a billionaire single mom, a little bit on the more emotional side because it does handle like the grief and like those harder topics, definitely pick this book up. Okay, let's talk about my single dads now. So I have The Nanny by Lana Ferguson. So this book, I loved it so much. It's so spicy, but it still has like the plot aspect a little bit, you know, but it is a lot of smut, okay? I'm not gonna lie to you. So this follows our main characters, Cassie and Aiden, and then Aiden's young daughter, Sophie. So Cassie is being evicted from her apartment or her house or something along those lines, and she needs a job. So she's either going to have to find a job super fast or start up her OnlyFans again that she had. And she just happens to stumble across this position to be this chef's nanny, because I believe Aiden is a chef or a cook or something along those lines. And she's like, okay, let me see if I get this position. She ends up obviously getting the position to nanny for Aiden, and lo and behold, she finds out that Aiden was one of her biggest fans when she had her OnlyFans. And she knows, but Aiden does not know yet. So it's kind of like the hidden identity a little bit. I mean, Cassie's great with Sophie. Sophie's not a fan of Cassie when they first meet. She's a very stubborn little girl, but the way they kind of like build their little family is beautiful, and I had such a good time with it. And it's a smutty little book, so if you want a spicy single dad romance, this is your book. Now if you want completely closed door romance, I got a book for you. So The Match by Sarah Adams. This is such a feel-good book. So this follows Evie and Jacob, and then Jacob's daughter, Sam. So Evie works for like a service dog company. One day she gets an email and she's like, this seems a little strange. Like the wording's a little strange, the spelling's not correct, and it's some dad asking for a dog for his daughter. So these two people walk in, a little girl and this man that she thinks is so handsome, and he sits down and he's like, who are you? What are we doing here? Come to find out, Sam wrote the email to Evie wanting a service dog because she has some health stuff going on, so she wants a service dog, but her dad's kind of against it, not really sure what to go about it. So Evie and Sam are going to work together to convince Jacob to let her have this service dog, and it's so cute. Just a nice rom-com, fluffy, no spice book. So if you are a closed-door romance girly who wants to read about a single dad, this is your book. Okay, let's talk about a few of my honorable mentions that really don't fit into like a single dad, single mom category, because they are parents, but they're not parents to their own child, which I love even more sometimes. So I have Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young. So this follows Chloe and Warren. Chloe is kind of estranged from her mom. She doesn't really talk to her until one day CPS calls and is like, listen, your mom just had a baby and she wants you to be her caregiver. So Chloe is immediately like, of course, I will do anything I can to help my sister. She's not making enough money, I believe, or something along those lines. It's something financial that she's not allowed to get her baby sister. So CPS is doing a new program, I guess you could say, called Team Up, where you and another person in like the CPS world is looking to home a child. They can work together, so like their finances work and like their housing works and stuff like that. So in comes our MMC Warren. So Warren is trying to get his 15-year-old brother out of foster care, and he does not have the housing for it. Chloe and Warren are now going to be living together to like make sure their siblings aren't in foster care. And I had such a good time with it. Her writing styles are so good. They're super easy to follow along with. The stories are always very entertaining, very impactful. And I love the way her writing style handles harder topics, but is done with such like a caring hand. Like I love it so much. So if you want kind of a single parent for their sibling book, this is the book for you. And then I have In a Jam by Kate Canterbury. So this follows our two main characters, Shay and Noah. Shay's grandmother left her tulip farm, but under two conditions. So she has to move back to this small town that she grew up in, and she also has to be married. So Shay's fiance, Dick, he left, so she can't get married within a year. In come Noah, who is this guy she knew in high school, and Noah had the biggest crush on Shay, but he was like the weird, awkward kid, and she was like the bright, popular girl, so he obviously never told her, and he volunteers to like step in to do like the fake marriage, because I think it's also going to help him in some way, but I can't remember what his reasoning for it is. So they are going to be in a fake marriage to get the tulip farm and to help him, and he is also a single dad to his niece, so that's where you get the single parent aspect into this book. I don't remember Noah's niece's name, but Shay does so well with her, and the little relationship that they create is beautiful, and I loved this single parent aspect because it's caring for someone else's child that's not your own. And I love the take that this single parent trope did. So if you want a small town, marriage of convenience, single dad book, this is your book. And then these next two are books that are on my TBR. So when I go into books, I don't really read about what they are. So I just kind of do like a brief synopsis of both of these books. So I have False Start by Katie Steiner. This follows our two main characters, Kyle and Madeline, I believe. I believe Kyle is a big football player, somewhere along those lines. And I think Madeline is a sports agent or something along those lines. I believe Kyle is now her client, so they're going to fake date. And she's also a single mom. Not quite sure what else is going on in that. And I also believe it's second chance, or they knew each other prior, something along those lines. But I love Candy Steiner's writing, so I cannot wait to get into this one. So then I have Coach by Daphne Perry. I believe this follows Millie and Ford. Again, we got another sports romance and single dad for this one. So Ford was, I believe, something in the NFL again. Listen, he's on the field. Don't ask me what he's doing on there, okay? He's somewhere on the field. And I believe his time is run out, or he's done playing, and he's now moving back to the small town that he's from, and he's going to be the head football coach. And I believe Millie is a teacher at the same school, and I believe they used to be together, or something along those lines. So I think we might have another second chance romance in this as well. But it sounds promising. I don't think I've read a Daphne Perry book yet, but everyone talks so highly of them. and I just have never done it. So maybe this will be the first one that I jump into. I guess this would be like a small town single dad, second chance workplace romance, if you want to throw some tropes in there. And I've heard great things, so hopefully it's as good as everyone says it is. So those are some of my favorite single parent book recs. I hope you got a few book recs from this video. I mean, I love single parent books, so if you have any that you think my little heart needs to read about, please let me know, because I will be forever grateful, because I love them. And I believe it is one of my favorite tropes ever, and I don't think I will ever be tired of reading about them. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Love yous!